message to his audience. So, content, was it appropriate for this audience? Do you feel like it was appropriate? Because I know how we discussed in one of the other videos today how with Oprah, she said, I didn't go to college. Do you think that was an issue here?
I think it was appropriate because he talked about his struggles. He talked about the things that I haven't met one person that came to college and knew exactly what they wanted to do and stuck with that. So I think it was appropriate because we can relate to his struggle and being uncertain and all of that.
Okay.
Well, I liked it because he still talked about going to classes and still pursuing education. He just didn't know exactly what it was. Whereas Oprah just kind of, it's like, well, I don't really need it because I already have money.
Yeah. Right. I've already gotten where I need to be, and there's no room for growth.
I like how he pointed out how he was like, I don't know when I'm ever going to use this in real life, like, because I think everybody thinks that in like so many of their classes when they go to school, and but he talks about how looking back it actually did relate. He actually ended up using that.
I liked it too for that reason, because it's like I've taken so many classes that I probably think will never be applicable. But at the same time, he talks about how he used it and how he did what he loved, and it paid off for him.
And I think, to me, that's what I got from this speech. Even though you didn't see the whole thing, you can still get a glimpse of it. If you have a chance, if you haven't seen the whole speech, please watch it. But I took from it that, it doesn't matter if you're going to college, it doesn't matter how many degrees you have. What matters is loving what you do and following your heart. And sometimes you may feel like you're going nowhere. But if you're doing what you love, it will get you somewhere. And like he said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. And I think that is true. If you follow your heart, it will lead you to success. Success doesn't always have to be money. It just is whatever success is to you. So I think that, to me, was an important concept. And did you notice how the story that he told connected to the end, like to his conclusion? Or was that too hard to get because you only saw part of it?
What helped me connect the dots was the stay hungry, stay foolish.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to college, it's going to be great, I don't know what I'm doing. Is it foolish to drop out? I don't know, let's do it. So he dropped out, and that might have been considered foolish, but he stayed hungry. That's what connected the dots for me, was that final quotation that sewed everything together.
Let's see. As far as delivery goes, do you think that he was authentic in his presentation? Yes.
I believe he stood behind everything he said. Like, he was never really nervous about it. And I'm going to walk up here and talk to one of the major universities about dropping out of college.
Right. Did you all feel though that he looked at he does look at his notes a lot? And to me, the first time I had listened to it, I was in my car and I was listening to it on my iPod, and I loved it. I fell in love with the speech. I thought it was the best thing in the world. But then when I watched it again, knowing I was doing this for my presentation, I didn't think it was that good anymore. Because the entire time he's telling about his life, his passion, and trying to change the minds of people, and he's looking at his notes. But it's about his life. So I didn't know if you all...
He was talking about his adoption parents, and he's reading it off the thing.
Right.
He could have made it more personal, made it more.
That bothered me, but I was still inspired by it. I was sitting down there, when he started talking about calligraphy, I was like, well, I want to do that. I made a little note of it. I was like, okay. And then I kind of went off from there and started talking about writing down things I would want to do this summer. While I'm still this is just from that guy who's telling me he did what he wanted to do. He still had that desire to learn even though he wasn't in college. I don't know.
Right.
It's it felt very much it still felt like a talk. I would have appreciated it if he wasn't reading it,
Right.
Especially since it was about his life. But it inspired me.
It's still definitely, inspiring. I think it just took away some of my awe when I saw it.
Right. Yeah.
You
It's
know,
a beautifully written speech.
it's definitely very, very good speech. All right, well, we are running out of time. So now that we discussed the speech in terms of content, delivery, and connecting with the audience, I hope this speech will inspire you to not only become an effective public speaker, but to also inspire you to follow your heart and let it lead you in life, and to stay foolish even when you think that you may be wrong.